The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is love. And the oldest and strongest kind of love is love of the unknown. People like monsters. People love monsters. And some people take that love very literally. And that is what we're going to talk about today when I rank the great old ones from the Lovecraft mythos in terms of which one would be the best lover. Hey buds, it's Cheshire Wolf. We're going to have a little fun today. So those of you who have watched my channel for a while know that I am a fan of the Lovecraft mythos. What you may not know is that the Lovecraft mythos is not just about Lovecraft. He invented a lot of the things in it, but he did not invent all of them. And he didn't really put them together into this big shared universe. That was mainly this author named August Derleth who did that. Critical to the Lovecraft mythos is this concept of the Great Old Ones. Ancient entities of immense power, beyond the scope of mortal understanding. Just being aware of them can make your tiny little brain fracture into bits. Except not always, if you're like Norwegian or have a boat. There is also this concept of the Elder Gods. Now, the Elder Gods are like beyond even the Great Old Ones. They're both so beyond humanity that the difference is kind of splitting hairs a little bit. Someone asked me on my channel, you should make a tier list of Great Old Ones. And I was like,
yes.
Now, some of you may be aware of a game called Sucker for Love. This is a Lovecraftian visual novel dating simulator in which you date anime girl versions of the Great Old Ones. I'm not here to criticize that. I think that sounds
hilarious,
and I'll probably end up playing it at some point. But we're not here for that. We're not here for humanized, sexualized versions. If you don't find the original, horrible, rubbery monsters sexy, there's probably not anything wrong with you if you don't find those sexy, but I do, and I'm here to talk about it. I have selected a few of the Great Old Ones / Elder Gods, and I'm going to be ranking them in 3 categories. My selection was fairly arbitrary. I tried to hit all the most popular, well-known ones because I did a little research for this, and there's a lot of Great Old Ones, like dozens and dozens. And if I tried to make a comprehensive list, it would probably be about a 3-hour-long video. Instead, I just chose kind of the greatest hits and then a few specific ones that I personally really like. Now, this isn't just about
lust.
This is about
love.
This is about companionship. This is about not being immediately destroyed. So I have 3 criteria that I will be ranking these guys with. Criteria number 1, attractiveness. We want to know if these monsters are sexy. Scale 1 through 5. Number 2, companionship.
I just can't smile without you.
Are they fun to be around? Will they make you happy? Will they be your friend? These are important considerations. And number 3, danger. Obviously, all of these things are very dangerous and would probably all just kill me. But some are a lot more likely to, and some have had positive-ish interactions with people in canon. So, 1 through 5, those 3 criteria. After determining that, we will place them on my tier list.
You're gonna need a bigger
tier list.
So first off, we got the Big Daddy Cthulhu himself, Cthulhu. Cthulhu is, in my opinion, the most overrated of all of these entities. And that's not to say that I don't like Cthulhu. Cthulhu is quite nice. If you essentially boil him down, he's a dude with an octopus head. Like, I know that he is like this ancient god and the ruler of the... What is his city called? Relaya. And I can hear you now saying, anyone who sees Cthulhu, they go mad. It breaks their minds. No one can even witness his glory. A random Norwegian fisherman saw him, was just fine, and rammed a boat through him and sent him back to the depths. He got bodied by a random fisherman. He still has kind of a goofy charm to him, but definitely not my favorite. As far as my criteria goes, attraction, he's not awful. I mean, he has the tentacles, he's got the humanoid body type, he's got the wings. I'd say a solid 3 for attraction. He's kind of like the base point for attraction for me. As far as companionship, he doesn't seem like a very nice person. Like, he's all about like destroying humanity and returning you to the depths of the sea and raising his army of deep ones to take over the land, and it's just not a very pleasant person to be around. So I think he's going to get a 2 in terms of companionship, because I cannot see myself enjoying spending time with this dude. And in terms of danger, I mean, he's not that dangerous. If all you need to kill him is a boat. On the other hand, he is very aggressive and kind of hates humans, so I would rate him, again, a 3. I'm going to put him on a D. He's not quite E, you know, he's got the cool factor, he's got the classic factor, but he's going to be at a D. Okay, so next up, we have ATTRACTIVENESS. Now, ATTRACTIVENESS is not created by H.P. Lovecraft. ATTRACTIVENESS is created by Clark Ashton Smith, who was one of Lovecraft's peers. It is basically like this ancient spider god. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know that it's a giant spider with like a human face. In terms of attractiveness, spider people are cool. You know, got the web, it's got the creepy crawl. Kind of like giant spiders are just plain cool. On the other hand, there's kind of the inherent weirdness of the human face, and that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm going to give it a 3. So in terms of companionship, ATTRACTIVENESS is very personable. They're clearly on the same level of humans as far as communication. You know, you got this underground empire with all the webbing, which could be quite cozy. So in terms of companionship, I'm going to give it a 4.5. And in terms of danger, I feel like ATTRACTIVENESS is actually one of the more benevolent Great Old Ones. It may have been a while since I've read that story, but I feel like it's definitely not anywhere near as dangerous as most of these. So I'm going to rate it as a 5 in terms of danger. I should clarify, low on danger means it's very dangerous. High score means it's not dangerous. That doesn't make any sense. But like, high is good, and good is low danger. So I'm going to rate ATTRACTIVENESS probably an A. ATTRACTIVENESS is definitely one of the better ones to be your lover. Not an S by any means, but
The cream of the crop for sure.
Next up we got Yig. Now, as far as I know, Yig comes from like one story. I don't know that I've read this story, so all of this is just things that I have secondhand, as most is absorbed from Lovecraft-related media. So Yig is basically the father of serpents, and is basically this big snake dude with big snake arms. Not really malevolent, just kind of like content to be a big snake and to, you know, make more snakes. I'm not really into the whole snake thing. It's a snake with human arms. It's kind of goofy to me.
Snake people, or Sneeple, control our government at the highest level.
Not particularly attractive. It gets a 2. In terms of companionship, I also see Yig as kind of, I hate to say it, but boring. You're like, oh, honey, how was your day? And he's like,
I laid some eggs today. I furthered the cause of the serpent folk.
we get it, dude. You're a snake. That's kind of your whole thing. It's just, oh, I'm a snake. In terms of danger, again, not anywhere near as malevolent as most of the old ones. So probably like a 1 for danger. This would probably be the least dangerous out of any of the Great Old Ones. It's just so boring. Even Cthulhu is more interesting than Yig. Yig gets an E. Next up, we got Tsathoggua. Tsathoggua is another Clark Ashton Smith created old one. Basically this frog sloth bat hybrid who kind of just sleeps all day. And like, yeah, he might occasionally eat people, but he's just kind of a big sleepy hairy dude. You know, you gotta love him. He's kind of lovable. In terms of attractiveness, I literally just said he's a big sleepy hairy dude. What more do you want? He gets a 5. In terms of companionship, I feel like Tsathoggua would be the best cuddler. Lay around and watch Netflix and eat some fucking snacks. He gets a 5. In terms of danger, I mean, he's definitely not as dangerous as the majority of these. He's pretty chill. He does eat people, so there is still a little bit of spiciness there. But I'm going to give it a 4. Tsathoggua is going to be our first S. One of the top mythos entities to have as your lover. Might just be my favorite out of any of these. Now, next up, we got Yog-Sothoth. Probably the most alien out of any of these entities. It's kind of like this weird swirling vortex of colored bubbles that exists out in the outer reaches of space. Canonically, has a relationship with a human and has 2 children. Now, notably, those children were horrible and creepy and monstrous, but proves that Yog-Sothoth is capable of having a relationship with a human. Now, I don't remember what happened to the woman that Yog-Sothoth dated. I'm just going to assume that everything went good for her and there was no long-lasting or dangerous consequences to that relationship. So in terms of attractiveness, I gotta give Yog-Sothoth a low rating because it's so alien. I mean, it doesn't even really have a body. I'll give it a 2. In terms of companionship, we know it's capable of having a relationship. I feel like Yog-Sothoth could tell me all sorts of weird secrets about what the meaning of everything is. So a solid 4. As far as danger, I mean, I feel like it's one of those things like the color out of space where just being near it could be dangerous. So a solid 3 for danger. Probably gonna go, it's C tier, but it's a high C tier. It's edging onto B territory. We'll see. Okay, Azathoth. Azathoth, the blind idiot god who created the universe. I think that's the lore, right? Azathoth created everything. Azathoth is basically this mindless blob of alien flesh that exists in the center of the universe and plays this like magic flute, and that creates the universe. The thing about Azathoth is that it is mindless. It's just kind of there. And that makes all of this a little wonky when it comes to Azathoth. In terms of attractiveness, it's just a big blob of flesh. I don't think that's attractive in any way. It gets a 1. It literally cannot be your companion in any way because it's not even aware that you exist, and it never will be. It gets a 1. In terms of danger, even being near this thing could instantly annihilate you. It only exists in the vast reaches of space. This is one of the ones that could actually shatter your mind if you witness it. Azathoth gets an F. By far, the worst one of these to have as a lover would be Azathoth for many reasons. Next up, we got Bokrug. And Bokrug is one of the many Lovecraft Mythos entities that is basically just a big reptile or amphibian that lives in the water. It's this giant water lizard, and it was worshipped by the people of Sarnath before their whole city got destroyed, I think. Or maybe it was worshipped by the people of Ib, and then Sarnath, took them over and it destroyed Sarnath. I think that might be it. Bokrug is basically just Godzilla. Not the most creative of the great old ones. We're putting that nicely. But it is cute. It's cute. It's a big lizard. I like me a lizard. It's cute. Attractiveness, not really. It gets a 2. In terms of companionship, I'm pretty sure it's just a big lizard. It gets a 2 in terms of danger, because I feel like it would be pretty dangerous. And it's better than Azathoth. I'm probably going to put it an E, because I could see someone really liking it, but it's just not for me. Next up, we got Hastur. Okay, now we're talking. Hastur, the unspeakable, the king in yellow. Right off the bat, Hastur is the most fashionable, the snappiest dresser out of all the great old ones. By far. Oh, sure, they got big tentacles and stuff. Hastur has tentacles too, but he also has a really nice cape and a really nice mask. Dude absolutely has style, and I love me a well-dressed man. In terms of attractiveness, oh yeah, he's got everything. If you want a humanoid figure, if you want tentacles, it's like a perfect blend of unknowable alien without being too far out there to the point where it becomes disgusting. Hastur gets a 5 out of 5 in terms of attractiveness. Probably the most attractive out of any of the great old ones, with maybe one exception. In terms of companionship, I mean, Hastur is theatrical. It could entertain you. Hastur got the courtly mannerisms, would come to your balcony at night with a rose. A 5 in terms of companionship. Now, the one downside is danger, because Hastur is definitely up there in terms of danger. I mean, technically, just speaking the name Hastur, he'll probably just kill you. It's like a Candlejack situation. Is that too much of a deep cut? No one remembers Candlejack from the old creepypasta days? Okay, I'll see myself out.
gonna need more rope.
So you gotta call it the King in Yellow. It infects worlds and turns them into Carcosa, and definitely one of the more dangerous ones. Probably a 2 as far as danger goes. However, despite that, I would be remiss if I put Hastur anywhere else but S tier. Hastur is a well-dressed and beautiful man with tentacles and is an ex-theater kid and is a king. I mean, come on, it's crazy. Okay, boys, now we got Ithaca. Ithaca is less well-known than most of these others, and I'm putting it on here mainly because I really like it. It was created by August Derleth, based it on the story The Wendigo by Algernon Blackwood. So Ithaca is basically this frosty giant that lives out in the Great North, whispers in your mind and convinces you to cannibalize yourself or other people. It can fly, and when its victims fly, their feet get shredded off. Kind of like the progenitor of what a lot of people think the Wendigo is in pop culture. The actual Wendigo is kind of nothing like what a lot of people think it is. I just really like Ithaca. I think it's a really cool monster. Do I think would make a good lover?
I don't know about that.
So in terms of attractiveness, gotta be high. The claws and fangs, I like that. It's gotta get a 4. In terms of companionship, it doesn't really have a lot of goals aside from killing people and eating people and making people kill and eat each other. So it's a 2 in terms of companionship. And as far as danger goes, I don't see you having any sort of relationship with this creature without it ending in cannibalism. So it honestly gets a 1. I hate to say it because I really do like Ithaca. Honestly, it's got to be an F because it's very attractive, but it's just so dangerous. Next up, we got Shub Niggurath. Can I get a MILF alert in the chat? It's literally the mother of monsters. She's the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. But here's the thing. So I really don't want children. Not only does she have a lot of children, but she would want to have children with anyone in a relationship with her in all likelihood. So in terms of attractiveness, not very high because she's kind of like a big walking mass of tentacles with hooves, and it's too much for me. She gets a 2, not particularly attractive, and the kid thing is a real turnoff. In terms of companionship, I feel like she's quite high because she has the whole connecting to witch cults and stuff, and I feel like she is a very sensual, caring kind of person. So I feel like she'd actually make quite a nice lover. And for those who are interested in being parents, I feel like you can have a really nice relationship with her. You could really get along well. Not quite for me, though. In terms of danger, she could definitely mess you up. Probably use your body as the host for a xenomorph style bursting out of your body with her evil young kind of thing. I don't know. Probably a 3 in terms of danger. I can totally see her being rated highly by other people. For me, she's got to go in E. And she's not an awful lover in general. She could be a quite nice lover for a lot of people. Just not for me. So Mordigian here, it's just one of the more famous ones that I don't really know a lot about. It's kind of like this graveyard worm that feasts on the bodies of the dead. And honestly don't know why I put this one on here, because I really don't know shit about this one. In terms of attractiveness, high. Yeah, it's a good design. It gets a 4. I don't know enough to say in terms of the other 2 categories. So I guess I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful enough to put it in a D, but that's a big question mark because I really just don't know. Now, here's another good one. We got Nyarlathotep, the crawling chaos, the haunter in the dark. Mwah! Let me just extol on the virtues of Nyarlathotep here. Nyarlathotep can shapeshift, can pretty much look like whatever you want. So attractiveness, 5/5, right? Because it can literally be anything. In terms of companionship, Nyarlathotep has a good sense of humor. It can teach you a lot about all the weird history that it knows. Nyarlathotep would be such a fun person to date. Just not really a very stable relationship, because I feel like you would probably cause a lot of drama. Wouldn't be boring. In terms of danger, kind of low, because Nyarlathotep has been shown in canon multiple times to interact with people, and the people end up just fine. Has his own agenda, and his agenda doesn't necessarily include killing you, especially if you're his little honey bunch. I'm torn between A and S. If it was A, it would be the highest A.
The shape-shifting.
I'll put it in S. I'll put it in S. I might even put Nyarlathotep in first place. I might. It's somewhere in there. The order doesn't matter. It's S tier. No doubt about it. So next up we got Ran-Tagoth. Now Ran-Tagoth is another really weird one. It comes from the story The Horror in the Museum. Again, I know little about this, but it just looks so fucking weird I had to include it. In terms of attractiveness, I mean 5'5". Look at that. Look at that absolute chad of a monster. In terms of companionship, I'm just gonna give it a 3, just because I don't know. In terms of danger, horribly dangerous. The thing will suck your body dry of blood and crush it into a pulp. It gets a 1 in terms of danger. I'm gonna put it in D, because it's not like as awful as some of the others, and I just really like it how it looks. It's just so fucking weird. When I made this tier list, this is my bespoke tier list by the way, I failed to put in one of my absolute favorite great old ones. I forgot to put on Dagon. How the hell could I forget to put on Dagon? I love Dagon. I've talked on this channel about how much I love Dagon. Basically the proto-Cthulhu. It's an ancient fish god that lived in a temple under the sea and wants to awake in the future and invade the surface world with an army of fishmen. It's Cthulhu before Cthulhu was a thing. In terms of attractiveness, high. Definitely gets a 4 in terms of attractiveness because, I mean, it's just so classic. It's like the monster from the Black Lagoon, the shape of water fish dude. It's like that, but like 60 feet tall. How can I not know? After thinking 5 in terms of attractiveness. Maybe this is just betraying how much I like that movie, but like 5, come on guys. In terms of companionship, mid to low. Unfortunately, I just don't think it would be a very good companion. However, you know, he might have lots of cool, like, information about the fish realms. You know, maybe there's, like, some cool fishy culture. Maybe, like, a 2.5. And in terms of danger, not, like, the most insanely dangerous, but he does hate surface dwellers and, you know, just getting to his domain, which is underwater, would be quite a feat. Probably a 2 in terms of danger. I'm gonna put him in B. He's not a very good lover, I will admit that, but he's so attractive he has to go in B.
Giant evil gods. I wish I could have seen it. I know.
That is it. That is my horrible, arbitrary tier list based on which of these would be the best lovers. If there's any other Lovecraftian entity or great old one that I have not covered that you think should be on here, let me know. Let me know if you're like a huge fan of Chaugner Fawn or Cthugga. You know, let me know. Let me know where you would rank these. Let me know if you have different ideas than this. If you want to see me do other Lovecraft things, I have a link to a playlist of Lovecraft games that I've played. If you've watched this to the end, you're a real one, bud, and I appreciate you so much. If you liked the video, please consider leaving a like, comment, or even subscribing to my little channel. It does my heart so good. I will see you next time. Till next time, think about which of these Lovecraftian entities you would most like to have as your lover. See you then. Ching!